All right, we're going to do another Mindspark. We're in our notes here. We're going to scroll all the way down. We got 2019, so November 9th, 2019 says Technique Road. Well, let's go ahead and click into it. Technique Road. I show you the answer. Two ways to teach. So is the title of this. And it says Technique Road. I show you the answer. I show you the exact ideal technique. You work to create the ideal. So this first part is what I show you. I show you as a teacher, as the instructor. I show you the answer. I show you the exact ideal technique. And then it says, you then work to create the ideal scenario to make that technique successful. Easy to learn, hard to master. The other way I got here to teach is the understanding road. So I got a technique road and now I got the understanding road. And the understanding road, I teach you a structure that leads to success. I give you boundaries to stay within. We make the goal clear. We make a goal clear. And then you come up with the solutions on your own with that structure and the boundaries we set to achieve the goal. So that's hard to learn, but easy to master. All right. So right off the bat, this has huge similarities and basically is talking about what is a big kick right now, and that's like the ecological approach, right, to training, and it's big in jiu-jitsu right now, where instead of just showing someone a specific technique in a specific position, which kind of we've always understood as the technique road, what we do is we tell them the structures that are important, we explain why those things are important, and then we set a game, right? We create a game that gives them boundaries to stay within, and there's a goal they have to try to achieve, and then they hopefully use those structures we've gone over to achieve the goal. First of all, I want to point out, this was not, I didn't get this from the internet. This is just something that I was teaching beginner classes at like a non-for-profit MMA school, basically non-for-profit, like karate dojo, basically. And I was teaching like beginner grappling classes, and just from teaching and kind of finding different ways to approach it, this mind spark or this idea came to mind. And I want to go ahead and point out, just to pat myself on the back a little bit, this is 2019, right? This is freaking 5 years ago. So, I'm kind of ahead of the curve, right? I'm kind of ahead of the curve. But anyway, these last little tidbits are what's fun to look at. I put how the technique road, when I just show you the answer, when I just show you this exact technique, do it like this, move this arm this way. First of all, I'm showing that to you in like a fixed place and time, right? The position is already set like it is. We always kind of default at the exact same position when we show the techniques this way. And then I from there, from that starting fixed point, you kind of create, or you can employ the technique. But why it says easy to learn and hard to master, I'm showing you that, and I'm just saying do it. It's basically choreography, right? What you have to do, and what's the difficult thing to do that makes the technique road so hard to master, is you have to hunt down that exact fixed position in order to employ your technique the way you've been shown. And that's the difference between the two. The understanding road, when I show you the structure in general, like as a concept, And then I tell you, look, we're going to play this game. Here's the boundaries you stay within, so that, it's not all of grappling in one shot. It's a small little tiny tidbit of grappling, but it's not as fixed a position. It's kind of an open position, and you're just using the structures I've talked to you about to find the answers, right? It's not I give you the answer and then you try to get in the position to do the answer. It's you know how to solve problems, and you just have to work it through. You have to solve the problem. And it's hard. When you do this road, you may not fully understand the structures I'm telling you. You don't fully understand them, but you try to stay within the boundaries and you work towards the goals, and you will have good outcomes very quickly because you're relatively close to the structure, right? You're relatively close to what you're keeping yourself in safe areas and safe positions and relatively close to the structure. So it's hard to learn and deeply understand what I'm telling you about these structures because they're concepts, right? If you haven't been involved in grappling for a while and I'm trying to tell you about this concept, it's really hard to grasp it in its entirety. But when you play with it, you get better outcomes faster, and that's the mastery, right? So those are kind of the two different differences. I definitely prefer the understanding road, but having taught before, especially beginners, I can tell you that even just to get them to understand the basic structures, just like how two bodies come together, is, again, like this says, hard to learn. It's just too hard for a lot of beginners. I obviously will get better and better at explaining those structures to where beginners don't have such a learning curve. But when you got just straight on beginners, it is really difficult to do this. And it takes more time. It takes more time in the explanation. The explanation takes more time. You don't just show a technique real quick for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and then they repeat that technique over and over. You spend some time going through the structures. Now, on the other hand, it ends up saving time in the long run, because once I explain the general structures to you, I can change the games and boundaries pretty quickly, right? We just set up a little game, set up the little boundaries pretty quickly, and then boom, we can get rolling with whatever it is, because you already know a lot of the structures that we're working on. So yeah, this whole ecological approach kick, that's basically what this is. I've been doing it for a while, understood it for a while. There's a place for both. It's not just the understanding road that's the right direction. It's not just the ecological approach that's the right direction. There's definitely a time and a place and students and skill sets that call for technique road. So yeah, there isn't really, we don't have to go into explaining this on the mats, but it would be cool. I think it would be cool to get both a beginner and then a grappler with a lot of tenure, and kind of just find a way to cover this concept on the mat and make it come to life. And to be honest, there probably already is stuff out there on YouTube right now that you could find this. You could find them doing it on the maps. I know there is. There's plenty of stuff out there about the ecological approach and stuff like that. Is it Saunders? Who's the guy who's pushing behind the big push for? Anyway, you can Google ecological approach on you, or I said Google. You can get on YouTube and type in ecological approach, and you'll get pretty much a lot of mat examples of this. But I still think it would be cool to do the video on my own. I have obviously a little bit different, approach to it. But yeah. So anyways, this Mindspark is mostly about patting myself on the back, showing that even without instruction on teaching, I kind of discovered this concept on my own. And I don't mind patting myself on the back every now and again, right? I don't do it often. So yeah, Slenderman out.